Okay, well, here we go. We all know that wreaths are a beautiful way to celebrate the season, right? And our family's got your doors covered from now until spring. No matter what your style, everybody, we got Maria, Shirley, and Orly, each giving us their own take on this. Orly, let's start with you. What do you got?
Let's do this.
Okay.
So I was super inspired by the idea of using sort of materials we would otherwise throw away. I think it's always really functional to genuinely repurpose something. So my husband is still that guy that reads the newspaper.
I love that.
You remember those newspapers?
Never heard of them.
So he sits there and reads them. So we have stacks of them that we put in the recycling. And so I thought it would be really cool to incorporate those newspapers into this wreath. So it almost looks like these really beautiful ombre flowers, but it's all made with recycled materials. And then even this yarn was from our pom-pom. Earlier,
Right.
the pom-poms for the pillow, I had extra yarn. And you guys saw earlier in the show, I was at the mailbox wall, and all of a sudden I like turned around and made eye contact with the color scheme, and I'm like, oh, this is gorgeous. Like, I must do this. So I decided to do an ombre tone very similar to the color scheme we have on the mailbox wall.
That's the inspiration of
Yes,
our
that's the
DIYers.
inspo.
They just look around and let it absorb.
Exactly.
Okay, so we got a newspaper, we got our yarn from the pom-poms,
Yep.
and then what else do we have here?
You need a foam floral, actually it doesn't have to be floral, but a foam wreath form.
Okay.
This is what we're actually gonna build off of. And then you're gonna need just some scissors because we are gonna cut strips to create our little flowers. And then I would say for your spray paint, you want a minimum of 3 colors that are in gradient. The more, the easier, but 3 is the minimum, I would say.
Okay.
So the one thing I'd really recommend is doing this in sort of sections, like go section by section. So the first section would be cutting your squares for your newspapers.
Okay.
So that's what you would do. Once you have a large section of squares, take a piece. And actually, why don't you try doing this with me? See if you can do it.
What?
Oh, take one.
Sounded
so
like
hold
you were
your
doubtful.
little, oh yeah, I'm challenging you. Hold your piece and kind of push down in the middle and grab onto that. And then you twist the bottom, and it sort of creates what looks like a pretty little flower. It's not perfect, but it absolutely doesn't have to be. So once you do that, create a bunch of those, maybe 30 or 40. And then I'm gonna take a pencil, but you could use a chopstick, whatever you need, because all we're doing is we're just creating these little holes in our floral, why am I saying floral? In our foam. Little wreath right
Make
there,
them around wherever, obviously, these little newly developed flowers have been made. Okay,
and you want to make sure that you not only go across the bottom, you go down the middle and on the inside. You don't have to worry about the back. Now, we can go like 3 at a time. So I'm going to push hot glue into 3 of these and then take the little, thank you so much, take that little bottom that you created and push that inside.
Okay.
And
Easy
so,
enough.
the way that it really comes together is obviously once the entire thing has been filled, not only your fronts, but your bottoms here, right? So you can see that's condensed, we would have it on the bottom. I decided to leave a little section empty, and then when you ombre, the real tip is you first work in sections overlapping the middle. So this was my white and this was my blue. I did a little overlap right here. This was this blue and a darker blue, I overlapped right here.
That's a great tip.
And that's how you just create ombre, is just kind of.
And amazing how it actually looks like fabric up there. It doesn't even look like newspaper up there. Great job,
but you can
Orly.
still see it, which is cool.
Yeah, great job, great job. Okay, moving on.
Move on.
All right, Shirley,
welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited about this, using flowers, using berries in your own unique way. Tell us about
Right,
this.
so this is a winter wonderland scene. It's like little botanical florals safely tucked away inside of a bottle. It's snowing outside. It's got little lights, and it's all using repurposed material, very whimsical. And let me show you how to do it.
I love the way you guys are repurposing all your material.
Exactly.
Okay. So
Okay.
what do we have?
So I say don't use a traditional wreath form. Use whatever you have. How about a picture frame? I have one here you can see that I had laying around in my studio. I have a photo of it. It is a galvanized metal. And I thought, ooh, that reminds me of ice. So that inspired me. And then I got a hold of these little knick-knack bottles I have around. And of course, we have florals, even silk florals around and berries. And I just put it all together. And let me show you how easy it is to do this, friends. You could do this at home. What I did, started off with a little bit of greenery. You always want a base, and you could use this just to push it in like this. And then I threw in a little berry, why not?
And make it your own, right?
Make it your
have some fun with it.
Is that
Change
easy?
it up.
Just
There you
like
go.
that. And then I used hot glue. Once I closed it, and I glued it here, reinforced it with a little bit of wire. And then, just for detail, you could see I added a little bit of frost, and I added some lights to twinkle, and a beautiful bow. Done.
Amazing, and
special.
you hid some of the details up with some of the greenery and the wire and the lights. Sure, this is so beautiful.
But I think Maria has some marshmallows for you. She's hungry.
Well, I'm getting hungry talking about all these reasons. I know who to talk to about that.
The only way I can do better is by feeding you.
You know, I haven't had enough marshmallows today.
No, you haven't. So as you know, with the popcorn balls that I made earlier had marshmallows in them.
Yes.
So buy some extra and make a beautiful marshmallow wreath. I think of that song, It's a Marshmallow World in the Winter. So this is a great idea if you're having a party indoors, like having hot chocolate and popcorn balls and even popcorn because you're watching all of the Hallmark movies this weekend. So what's great about this is actually an edible wreath. You can take them off and pop them in your hot chocolate.
Of course it's
such a great idea and a fun idea for parties and hosting and things like that.
Okay, how did we make it without it all kind of falling apart?
Yeah,
it looks very
exactly.
precarious, but
They're a little sticky, so it's not as hard as it looks. So we same base that Orly had, and I do want to tell you a little bit about the styrofoam. So I ordered my styrofoam online, and don't do that because I found out that I got this, that kind of, see how it comes off? And it's kind of like the popcorn-y, but you do not want this one because this could potentially come off on to the rest of the food. Do a smooth one like this, and that's the same one that Orly had as well. So you can get these at the craft supply store or online, just to make sure, look for that.
Perfect.
And what you do is, Orly and I have some vibage today because this is actually the same yarn that she used. This is, when you're looking for a yarn, these are actually for baby blankets so they don't shed. So it's something that's a little bit safer to have on here because we are going to be putting food on there.
Okay.
Wrapped it all the way around, just really simple. That's all it takes. And the reason we're doing this is so that the marshmallows don't have to sit onto the styrofoam. Grab a good amount of toothpicks, and you want, I would say for this is about 16-inch to 20-inch wreath, get about 4 to 5 bags of the marshmallows, and you do this, and you just pop them on and put them in a bunch of different directions.
And that's all you need to make sure they stay on the wreath? You just got to use a little toothpick?
Well, you need that and a little bit of self-control.
Oh,
so
that and self-control. Put one on, eat one, put one on.
I'm just saying. And this is all to make it really, really kind of fun and special. This is actually a spray. This is edible spray that is like a glitter spray, and it sprays a little bit of a pearl mist.
I was wondering about that.
It's edible.
And it's edible. Of course it is.
And you can either do that, or you could do, don't mind me, eating it with my mouth full, and then you could do some edible glitter or like kind of sheen to it as well.
And you just work that all the way around?
You work it all the way around, kind of spray it, and I will say definitely give it some time to set up, and the marshmallows will sort of harden onto the toothpicks. And then you're safe to kind of put it up.
Put it up on that. You can add a bow.
Put it up right away. They can potentially fall off. And if they fall, or you see that they're falling off, you just
eat them. You come home and be like, "Hi, honey, I'm home."
That's a delicious wreath.
Why, thank you. You are all invited to my party.
I love my life. I love my job.